Taoiseach, 2 years ago, I raised with you a repeated problem of sewage overflowing in Dodder Valley Park beside Balroddery Weir. When you have heavy rainfall, the sewage shoots out beside a residential area in a beautiful park. It's still happening. It happened again last weekend with the heavy rainfall. In March of 2024, I got a reply from Uisce Éireann accepting that it was impacting the environment, posing a risk to public health through flooding. And at that stage, they said they were at stage 3 of a 4-stage process, and that they would have options and costing in the issue of Q4 in 2024. I followed up in August of 2024, but I got a response in February of this year, over 6 months after the promised commencement of stage 4. Then they apologised for the delay and said they're concluding stage 3 and moving into stage 4. I followed up again with them. It's simply unacceptable that the health of residents and park users is put at risk, and the deadlines for action keep getting delayed. Do you agree that Irish Water, Uisce Éireann, must act?
Deputy Murphy raised the issue of, I think, Balroddery Estate in terms of sewage overflow. And again, I would talk to Irish Water in respect of where that is. We now have allocated unprecedented resources to Irish Water as a result of the National Development Plan, and we've given them multi-annual funding. They know what their funding is for the next 5 years, which should enable them to get on and to plan and to do things. There's a lot of work. Our population is growing exponentially and has grown in the last 2 decades. That's creating pressure on water services. I think what would be important as well is that those who reference correctly wastewater treatment plants, we've got to try and create a narrative and a consensus in society not to be objecting to wastewater treatment plants, or to the upgrade of wastewater treatment plants, or to supply projects, because an awful lot of these projects are getting snarled up in planning and are being delayed for far too long. And what's happening in the preparation of the scheme, so you say stage 3 to stage 4, everybody's dotting the I's and crossing the T's because they're anticipating an objection, they're anticipating a judicial review, and so they want to make sure that they can be resilient in the face of a court case being heard, judicial review of a decision taken by the planning process. And so what we're getting is a very, very slow process in terms of getting projects through. Now, we're going to have to deal with that, and the government is determined to deal with it because we've got to push ahead. But even in a small issue, we had it this morning in Leaders' Questions, like apartment guidelines, we get public representatives judicially reviewing regulation. And then people complain about things not moving. We can't have it our own way everywhere, but that's a general comment on where we are, and it's important.